Chelsea have finally exposed Enzo Maresca. Evidence choke, evidence full everywhere. Now, in this video, we'll be looking at this Chelsea and Enzo Maresca issue. Shocking details have emerged. We'll be looking at the Graham Xhaka latest updates. Chelsea have also reached an agreement with a new player, a new left back. We'll also be looking at the 5 preseason matches Chelsea will be playing, as well as the clubs they will be playing against. They've announced it. We'll also be looking at the dates for start of preseason, as well as Xabi Alonso. Now, like I said earlier, Chelsea versus Enzo Maresca issue, over the last 3 days, social media have been awash with a lot of posts, right? So let's look at the genesis of the matter. Last year, around October, Enzo Maresca, then Chelsea head coach, told the club that he was contacted by Manchester City and told that should Pep Guardiola decide to leave at the end of the season, there's a job vacancy and he's one of the top 3 contenders to take that role. Now, Maresca, at that first meeting, did not inform Chelsea. Then, sometime in December, there was another approach from Man City again. This time around, he informed the club that there was an approach for him, and all that. Even told the club that he wished to explore that option of replacing Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Now, his contract stated that should there be such a situation, he has to report to the club, right? And according to the club, after assessing the situation, they saw that Maresca was no longer, mind and soul, was no longer committed to Chelsea, and that Chelsea also felt disrespected. Imagine being a manager at Chelsea, a club that is, can you argue, is bigger than Man City based on trophy achievement and everything. You are now saying this type of a thing. You understand? So immediately, Maresca, they kind of had agreement. Maresca resigned, but it was presented in the media that it looked like Chelsea fired Maresca. It was actually Maresca who resigned and then left the club, right? So a lot happened. Rosinho came, did not succeed, and until Rosinho himself was also fired, Chelsea had one of the worst seasons we've ever had. Recently, the club came out. Recently it was reported that there's a settlement process going on between Chelsea and Man City, because Man City did an illegal approach by approaching the Chelsea coach that is under contract, which is illegal. Should Chelsea decide to report them to the Premier League, there will be penalties. So instead, Man City opted for a settlement with Chelsea. They decided to pay Chelsea a certain amount, undisclosed amount. I think they say 17 million or so. Speculation. At the same time, Enzo Maresca resigning, which means cutting off his own contract, also reached an agreement to also pay Chelsea certain amount. So Chelsea is getting money from Man City and Enzo Maresca. You understand? Now, that was how they settled this few days ago. On the day of that settlement, once it was completed, Man City were now legally okay to announce Maresca as their coach. Once they did that, Maresca also went on his page to release a statement apologizing to Chelsea fans, how it was not his intention. I'm sure a lot of you saw those apologies and all that. Basically, apologizing to the entire fan base. Chelsea also released a statement immediately, bashing Maresca. In fact, in the entire statement, they did not mention him by name. They kept referring to him as the former Chelsea manager, That shows how that relationship, got to the point where it got to. So that was it. And also, ever since then, there's been massive reaction all over social media. Chelsea fans crashing out, getting angry and saying, oh, you betrayed us, you did this and that. Now, I did a video and I said, first, we are not to blame Maresca, right? We were all here when Maresca told the whole world that he demanded for a defender. And the Chelsea people told him that the people they have there are good enough, that he should try and improve them. This was before last season started. So it was not as if the club gave him all the support he needed, you understand, before. So if we want to blame, we'll share the blame between Maresca and the owners. He also said something about the medical department of the club and how they did not always allow him to work the way he wanted to work, restricting him in terms of deciding which player plays at which time, even accusing him of being responsible for certain players becoming injured, right? So all those things eventually led to the whole breakout. The club had the responsibility to appoint somebody else other than Rosino. So blaming Maresca, why didn't they appoint other persons except Rosino? So they have their own, and the issue of signing and the rest. So that is how the Maresca story have gone. Now, some updates regarding Chelsea, right? Chelsea reached an agreement with Pep Chavarria, the Spanish, 28 years old Spanish left back. I think Raya Varocano. So they also reached the agreement this morning to sign him to replace Cucurella. The good thing here is that he's 28 years. So the promise that the Chelsea owners made, they are fulfilling it. Talking about going for experienced players. And that guy is very good from what I've seen so far. So that deal is to be completed any moment from now, right? And of course, Granit Xhaka, update on Granit Xhaka. Chelsea submitted an 8 million bid for Xhaka. Sunderland rejected it, saying that it was an insult. So immediately Chelsea went ahead to, I think they promised that they are going to return back with a bid, right? A better offer. And anything less than 50 million, I don't think Sunderland is going to sell. So if they are serious, they should just offer them and get the guy. Xhaka himself said he wants to join Chelsea fully. He wants to work with Xabi Alonso. And I've even heard report that he's ready to, if it becomes necessary, put in a transfer request, and which will make the whole team messy. So that is for those transfer. Then Chelsea also, like I said, Xabi Alonso is expected to be announced or unveiled today. So we are still waiting for that update. And also they released a preseason schedule. The Chelsea team are to report for the players who did not go to the World Cup are expected to report, and who are not injured are expected to report back to Chelsea on the 8th of July. 8th of July, preseason training will start at Cobham, right? And of course, they've also announced 5 preseason games before the start of the Premier League. Premier League is scheduled to start around, I think, 21st of August, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that's more than 1 month after the World Cup. In fact, I think all players should be available by then. Then, the 5 matches we played in, the first one is in Sydney. So I think they're going to Australia on the 28th of July. They are playing Tottenham too, I think, in Sydney too, on the 1st of August. Then, they're also playing Juventus on the 5th of August. AC Milan on the 8th. And Iskander, I don't know what that one is, but it's a club too. They're playing those ones on the 9th of August. So these are some of the updates right now. I hope I'm not forgetting anything as it relates to Chelsea FC at this moment. We're waiting for the announcement of Xabi Alonso, and then any other updates will also be posted on my Facebook page. What do you guys think? Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video.